Welcome everyone to another episode of Fact Friday. Every Friday I'll be going over one of your guys' questions and take a look as a full-time online coach, pro physique athlete, and connect the science to the practicality so you guys can implement it into your fitness journey. If you guys want to be featured in one of the future Fact Friday episodes, all you have to do is comment in the comment section below, hashtag #pattylifts, and your question could be chosen. So let's get into it for today's episode and go over the question. It's by Placebo Effect, and it's, I need to bring up my lower pecs. Any help? Tons of videos with the answers left and right. So right off the bat, if you do want to focus on your lower chest, you want to do movements with a decline. So anything you're doing where you're pressing in a downward motion or flying in a downward motion from high to low. If you want to work your upper chest, you want to do things on an incline or going into a upward motion. And then overall chest, you want to actually do a flat motion, but if you do want to work your overall chest on bench press, it's going to be a negative 15-degree decline, and this is where you can take advantage of the arch. So you can get more tension overall because you'll be able to move more weight on the bench, and you reduce the range just a little bit, but you'll be able to have a higher EMG activation in the chest, activating more muscle fibers overall. So personally, I say as a coach, depending on what you look like, I would actually say focus on your overall chest development. And my number one exercise would be the bench press with that arch, so you can move more load, which will work directly towards the number one mechanisms for muscle hypertrophy, which is mechanical tension. So you can get the most amount of weight with that movement and overload the chest that way. The second good part about it, like I mentioned earlier, it has the highest EMG activation. But if you specifically want to work your lower chest, the lower pec, you want to do a decline movement. And I personally recommend the decline bench press because of the higher load. If you can't do that, do a decline dumbbell. In a practical sense, I feel like it's going to be a little bit hard setting up, especially once you get a little bit heavier. So one of my personal favorites is the decline hammer strength when you're using the plate loaded machine. Moving forward, sometimes it's hard to actually activate your chest doing pressing movements because I know your shoulders and your triceps are involved in the movement as well, as it is a compound movement. If you want to totally isolate your lower chest, what you can do is a fly movement. And what I recommend for the fly movement is a declined Bayesian cable fly, and that's when your palms are going to be facing down versus to the sides. So I'd actually play around with that yourself to see what you feel better, and more focus on the movement at the shoulder joint. So I personally like to think of it almost as a big hug, where you're taking your elbow away from the body and you're bringing it in close to the body and thinking about the mind muscle connection of the chest, focusing on bringing the muscle fibers closer to each other. So that's what you're going to be doing, contracting your chest like this across, and doing that on a downward motion. You want to play around with the angle as well, so you can almost do a straight down movement with the cables, and then you can slightly go, instead of going straight down, you can slowly bring it up a little bit higher, coming across to see what you feel best. Especially when you're using dumbbells, I personally don't like to go down too far because I get a little bit of pain in my shoulder. This is going to be different from person to person, so that would be my personal take on hitting the lower chest overall. So if I want to break it down into a routine, a chest specific routine, so let's start off with either the bench press or a decline bench press. Move on to another compound movement, such as the decline hammer strength machine or a decline Smith machine, and then I'll get into the fly. And I feel like 3 movements is a lot of volume for your chest, and then that'll allow you to be able to hit it 2 to 3 times a week, where you can specialize and prioritize this muscle group throughout the entire month. So you don't want to think about it in one single session, you want to think about it over a longer period of time. If you want to hit it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, maybe you don't want to do super heavy on each day, but maybe have a heavy day, a moderate day, and a speed day, so then you're fully recovered by the time you get back to your heavy day. A good heavy day rep range is in between 3 to 6, a good moderate one is in between 6 to 12, and a lighter one could be between 10 to 20, but you don't want to fatigue You don't want to reach failure to ensure that you can recover. And then your third day can also be substituted out for a speed day. So some of my favorite ones are 4x3 or 5x3, using between 50 to 60% of your 1 rep max. And then each week, maybe up that a little bit, working your way up to a 70% 1 rep max for a speed lift. So personally, that's how I would develop your lower chest. Make sure you are doing the correct angle. Make sure you are mixing up the higher tension compound movements mixed with the isolation movements, and really focus on the mind-muscle connection to ensure you are activating your lower chest. And then lastly, I want to touch on dieting a little bit, because I know when you get a little bit thicker, you get slim thick, you start eating out a little bit more, that bulk is starting to get out of hand, you're gonna start to smooth over, your details aren't gonna show through as much. So my chest looks a lot bigger when I get leaner, because the cuts get a bit deeper from the fat being off of the body and my body composition being improved. So once you build up your physique into a committed bulk, once you cut down, you'll actually see the shape that you're developing. So I just wanted to throw that in there as well to ensure that you guys are on the right track. Your body's not gonna have the same proportion. It's not gonna look the same when you're bulking versus cutting. So other than that, guys, I wanna thank you for checking in to the Fact Friday for today. I wanna thank Placebo Effect for asking this question, and I want to do a reminder, if you guys want to be featured on a Fact Friday video, all you have to do is comment below #AskPattyLifts, and I want to shout out the Limitless and Team Lifts collection. It's dropped. It's going to be in the comment section below. We have dad hats, the premium mesh hats, long lines, and the Team Lifts tees that you guys have been seeing, along with the dog tags and the bracelets that I provide as well. So I'm gonna throw that down there, and if you guys want to support me, it would mean a lot. And other than that, thank you guys for checking in. If you guys made it this far, subscribe if you're not part of the team. Give it a like if you guys liked it. Comment and let me know what you guys think, and ask a question. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Fact Friday.